महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि महादेवमुदं शिरसा नमामि महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि अहिंसा क्षान्तिरार्जवम् आचार्योपासनं शौचम् स्थैर्यमात्मविनिग्रहः इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् अनहंकार एव च जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि दुःख दोषानुदर्शनम् This is one line. These verses, each line is one line. These verses in a meter where there are two lines. And it has, so the indriyarteshu vairagyam, 8. Another 8 will be there, 16. 16 syllables. Indriyarteshu vairagyam anahankara eva cha. Another 8. So this 8 plus 8, 16. 16 plus 16, 32. So the 32 syllables are there in this meter called Anushtup. All Puranas, the whole Mahabharata, the whole Ramayana are in this meter interspersed with some other meters also. Like in the Gita, you have one more meter that is called Trishtup. These 2 meters cover the whole gamut of all Puranas, everything. So this Anushtup is the very lifeline for the Sanskrit literature. So these 2 lines have to be said. Indriyarteshu vairagyam anahankara eva cha. That's how we have to repeat. One line. There are a lot of people who do that. My Sanskrit teacher, known as Subramanya Iyer, P.A. Subramanya Iyer, one of my teachers, introduced for chorus chanting this style of breaking the single line into 2 halves. Indriyarteshu vairagyam anahankara eva cha. In chorus chanting, shorter the length, more harmonious will be the chanting. Longer, one will be completing, other would have already completed, and the third person somewhere is on the way. And therefore you hear all kinds of things. So in order to bring more harmony, he created this kind of a chanting, not allowed, but then you have to resolve all the sandhis. Sandhis are when two letters of words face each other, they create a new change, grammatical change. Sometimes the visarga, the ramaha, that colon, that becomes sakara, that becomes o. Ramo. Sometimes it is just Rama. The visarga is not visible. Therefore, these are all called the rules. One of those rules of Sandhi. These Sandhis are optional. At the end of the word, on the first letter beginning of the next word, when they face each other, and there was some change. Brihat Mumbai. Mumbai is the city. Brihat means big, greater. So greater Mumbai. Brihat Mumbai Nagarapalika. Greater Bombay Municipal Corporation. Okay? In this, the Brihat and Mumbai, when they face each other, you cannot really Brihat Mumbai. That doesn't really, is not smooth. And therefore, to make it smooth, the other one is a nasal letter, ma. Is a nasal letter of p, Libya. P, b, ma. Ma means only consonant. A is added for pronunciation. Just that is pa. Say. What? Say. Add a, pa. Add ye, p. Add who, poo. Add ye, pe. Add r, pr, pr. Add au, pau. Understand? Or add a before, up, yip, up. Correct? Therefore, it's just a little learning of the Sanskrit is so easy, This Brihat Mumbai. Then the other one is nasal. Facing the nasal, this also catches cold. This letter takara catches its own cold. And therefore its own cold, takara gets cold, becomes nakara. Taita, taita, na. And therefore, so facing the nasal letter, it catches its own cold. It becomes na. That is the nasal for ta. So here the ta becomes nasal. Then you have Brihan Mumbai. This you can, when there is, if it is a compound word, a Sanskrit single word, you can't break it. In a compound, you can't break it. if it is at the end of the word, you can break the compound, you can break the sandhi and make it optional. So, padante, and then the sandhi that is there is optional. In the padantara, within the pada, within the word, whether it is a compound or a single word, and if there is a sandhi, means all of them single word only. Even though it is a compound, it is a single word. And within that word, there are sandhis, because there are many words joining. They will undergo, like Brihan Mumbai, it will undergo a change. And that change has to be retained. You cannot break it. Understand? Therefore, it's a very important rule. Therefore, we will break this. My teacher, what did he do? He broke the line into two halves, but then he had to face certain lines which he cannot break. He told us these lines you do in ek breath, one breath. Tam vidya dukkha samyoga vyogam yoga samjitam. Then Surun mitra yudasina madhyastadveshya bandhushu. One line. In the sixth chapter, tam vidyat dukkha samyoga viyoga yoga samjitam. It is a compound. And if you have to change it, tam vidya dukkha samyoga yogam yoga samjitam. Abdillah. Tam vidya dukkha samyoga. And therefore, so that's not Subramanya. His tune is Anushtuk Veda. Yo Veda Dauswara Prokta Vedante Cha Pratishtitaha Tasya Prakriti Linasya Yafarasya Maheshwaraha. So the same thing he did little. Urdhvamula madashakam Ashwattam Praguravyayam Chandam Siyasya Parnani Yastam Vedasa Vedaviti. It is so nice to chant together in harmony. Effort he made. But these lines, there are few lines which cannot be broken in between, and there are only 3 or 4, and this is one of them. Suhrun mitrar yudasena madhyastadveshya bandhushu. One word it is. Suhrut mitram ari. Ari means arihi, the enemy. Udasina, indifferent. Madhyastha, the neutral. Bandhushu, bandhu, is relative. In all of them, samabuddhi. Sugrun matra yudasena madhyastadveshya bandhushu dveshya. A person who deserves to be hated. Sadhushvapicha papeshu samabuddhir visishyate. In all of them, one who has the same type of buddhi. All different types of people, but the person is not judgmental, who is objective and compassionate, very understanding. That person visishyate. He is the person to be reckoned as a person. There is one line I'm talking. This is another line. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanu darshanam. Why? Because the whole thing is one. Somebody is born. So jatasche, then asti che. A person is born, a child is born, and it is alive, asti. Jivati. Asti here, jivati. So jivati chet, what happens? Then jivati continues all the time. Vardhate, grows. Viparinamate, metamorphosis. Apakshiyate, declines. And vinashyati. Vinashyati means goes away. So jayate, asti, jivati, jivati chet vardhate, jivati chet viparinamate, jivati chet apakshiyate. Then you don't say jivati chet vinashyati. Jivati chet, of course, vinashyati. So that's the whole arrangement. So once you are born, birth is one side of the coin. There is no one-sided coin. That's why we said one side of the coin. What is the other side? Mrityu, death. Birth means the other side is death. Between birth and death is your life. Every sculptor who inscribes names, on the slabs, in the cemetery, knows the distance between one date and another date is a short line, okay? Depending upon how long is the name. One line date is date, one line in between. This is your lifespan. One line. That's very beautiful. So we all accept certain realities. Very beautiful. This acceptance is very, very nice to appreciate. Even though you know that person had many ups and downs, he was employed, he lost his job, then afterwards he got angry, he started a business, just some vendor, he became a vendor, and then afterwards, and then he started a newspaper shop on the New York platform. And so, this sidewalks, they have got all these, what they call kioscos, huh?
Yes.
He started one, and then he made money, and then he started few, then began sitting and then making people all employed, other fellows who come from India without job, and so you just employ all of them. And then afterwards he started a gas station and after this and he became a very big. And then he was not paying the income tax. The revenue department caught him up. Then afterwards he went to jail. And then came back. And in all the process he lost a lot of money. His wife left him. And therefore, then wife left him means lot of money also gone along with that. And afterwards, New York wife leaving means half of you Ardhanarishwara. Half the fellow is gone. Only other half is left. And then Swami Dayananda came. Then he came to Swami Dayananda. Then he became a Vedanti. What else you can do? He became a Vedanti. This is it. Anyway, he became Vedanti, then he is very sad. Listening to Vedanta, he is very sad. Then to make him laugh is such a big job. And then I made him laugh and then he became a little better. So when he was slightly he was pulling himself up at that time. He had a small heart failure and then that. Itna bada hai. But that fellow, the sculptor, he doesn't care for all your ups and downs. One dash, okay? One dash. This is called Janma Mrityu. This is all possible in between if the fellow is alive after birth, okay? After birth is alive, then there is a biography. And biography can be very graphic. You can explain. Everybody's biography will be very graphic. If they write the truth, okay? They should write the truth. It will be very graphic. And if you don't write the truth, then there is nothing graphic. Except for language, there is nothing graphic. Very graphic. Everybody's life. Not that one person's life, fellow. Even if you ask our donkey to tell his story, it will be very interesting. Do you know what happened the other day? You can tell the story. Imagine your own story. Everything don't ask me to imagine. And therefore, so this, what kind of story a donkey will have when it tells its story? Every mosquito has got in its short span of life undergoes all kinds of problems. You know what? The other day when I was drawing little blood, and this fellow was so angry, and he did like this, and you know what? I was there and then watching this fellow, and he was holding his head. All other mosquitoes are laughing. You need to be constantly creative, okay? Generally you can be a teacher. Constantly, 100%. Constantly creative. And you can be a teacher. For that, you have to relax. Oh yeah. Therefore, in this suppose the span is there, then what happens? If a span is there, one thing will definitely happen. Whether the fellow grows in terms of maturity or not, he will age out, correct? Age, if he lives, don't count this fellow is going to study, grow, learn from experiences. He grows into be a compassionate person, very understanding person. That is the growth. From a complaining person, murmuring person, to be very, very open and free. That is the growth. There is no other growth. They will say spirituality and they become this. Which spirituality? All these fellows become tighter. Previously at least he was too open. And he became spiritual. Spiritual means afterwards he develops some snobbery. Becomes a snob. We are spiritual. So this is what we say. So whether you grow or you don't, age you will. Therefore, here very beautiful. If birth means death, it's already come. And therefore, when you are breathing, next one is there or not. You breathe out hoping it will come back. You breathe out. And if suppose you know it will not come back, what will you do? You don't come back, means what will you do? Again you will pop up. Okay? You will pop. So you breathe out thinking it will come back. Suppose you say, enough, I had enough with you, I'm going, suppose. It goes away. Where are you going? I have been coming all the time, what did you accomplish? Oh, I accomplished. There are a lot of things I accomplished. What did you accomplish? So much hurt and so much guilt I have got. Enough. Next Janma, let us say, prana goes. No. Therefore, to live, there must be some, whatever reason, fellow lives. When he lives, one can grow and gain wrinkle, develop cataract, and discover forgetfulness. And forget the discovery also. So this is old age, jara. You must have heard geriatric. Comes from jara. Old age. Okay. So when does the old age start? It depends upon, it differs from person to person. One fellow retired from his job and came, he wanted to be dramatic. He was a Swami, he became a Swami. He was an ENT surgeon, very famous in Bombay. In those days there were not many ENT surgeons. He was in Britain and he became an ENT surgeon there, and then he married a British woman, and he was here in Bombay, ENT surgeon. And he wanted to be a sadhu. So he wanted to make it dramatic, very interesting. Wanted to make it dramatic. There is a drama. He performed the last surgery. He removed the gloves. Already he had set in the ashram, he had sent all things that he wanted to send. He had already a cottage allotted for him. And in the cottage, all the things that he wanted, only a few things from his house. And his apartment he vacated. And all ready. And he removed the gloves, washed his hands, removed this gown, whatever they wear, all that, everything removed. And then he got into the car, in a taxi, and came here. He sold his car also, then came here. Dramatic. Sadhu life. And the next day he changed his clothes also here. Yellow. He got into yellow. Nice. It's so dramatic. the next day, he was performing the previous day, he performed the previous day ENT. He was sharing the same place, means I was facing him, and another cottage, he was here in Bombay, in his ashram. And this guy, the next day, he became Parkinson. Next day. This is to discourage people who are planning to retire dramatically. This is what will happen. He began shaking. Parkinson caught him, and afterwards he never recovered from it. It's amazing. The will has got its own beauty, its own power. The psychosomatic, I could say that. Right in front of me, this has happened. The previous day he performed a delicate surgery. The hands were steady. No? Swamiji began talking like that. Therefore, what I say, when does Jara begin? Jara means old age. When does it begin? Don't say when. It can begin anytime.
Ganapatin Manasa Smarami Mahadeva Mudam Shirasa Namami Mahaganapatin Manasa Smarami. Bharat Desha Hitaya Kuru Sevam Tum Kuru Sevam Tum Kuru Sevam Tum Kuru Sevam